What's your favorite live-action superhero show? Especially in the past few years, a lot have come out. Today, I'll be ranking the 21 different ones that I've seen before. I hope you enjoyed today's video and stick around to see number 1. Enough yapping for me, here we go. So for this, I have 2 honorable mentions, Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. I've seen them, but it's been so long, I don't think I could accurately rank them, so I'm just putting them here in honorable mentions. I did enjoy both of them, though. But to actually start this list, at number 21, one of the more recent shows, Secret Invasion. Yikes, this should have never been a show. If you know anything about the comics, this was a huge deal, and I don't think the show did it any justice, honestly. This story should have been through a whole Marvel phase, not just a half-baked show that has actively bad writing. I am usually a Marvel defender, but I can't defend this too much. And at number 20, I have Echo. I thought this show was so dang boring. Unfortunately, Echo isn't a very well-known character, and not a very interesting one in my opinion. I thought it was a very odd choice for them to make a show for her, rather than other characters they could have, but I do love the inclusion at the very least. Even bringing back Kingpin wasn't quite enough to make the show any good, so it is just a little bit better than Secret Invasion.
Millennial, searching for a way to balance a career.
At number 19, I have She-Hulk. I didn't hate She-Hulk by any means, but it did disappoint me. I think it got too meta at the end, and it just didn't work quite right. I do look forward to her character showing up in future Marvel projects, but I just don't think the show worked completely, and it was sad. I was hoping it'd be really good, but it lands at number 19. At number 18, I have Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This was another show that just really bored me more than anything. I was hoping it'd be a cool show, but I was nervous about the Falcon and Winter Soldier carrying the show by themselves. And unfortunately, at least for me, my fear was correct. Also, a huge problem they had was the lack of a good villain. I think if they would have leaned into the US agent being the bad guy, that would have been much better than like the half-baked group they used. I get it, they're saving US agent for future stuff, but I don't know. It just did not stand out at all. It was so boring. At number 17, I have The Umbrella Academy. I was really excited to watch this show. I actually watched it all the way through recently. But man, did it get worse and worse as it went on. At first, they all had unique problems and personalities, but they eventually evolved into caricatures of themselves. The 2 best examples of this are Luther, who went from like the straight-laced leader to just an idiot, a buffoon who couldn't do anything right, and then Diego, who went from like literally Batman. He was a vigilante to like a silly idiot who just messes things up constantly. I'll say though, 5 was a fantastic character, and I look forward to seeing Aidan Gallagher in more things in the future. At number 16, I have Gotham. Now, Gotham was surprisingly good. It was proof that a show in the Batman universe without Batman as the protagonist would work. I love that it followed Jim Gordon and a few Batman villains. I thought it was so fun getting backstories on characters we wouldn't usually. It's a little cringy to watch back, but like that's part of it. That's part of it just coming out in like the 2010s. But in general, it was a pretty fun show. At number 15, I have Agatha All Along. This was a show that really got boosted by when it came out. A show about witches coming out in October? Perfect. But I still wasn't huge on this show. I like Catherine Hahn a lot, but I don't like Agatha as a character. And I wasn't huge on any of the side characters either. The last episode or 2 are the only reason this isn't lower on the list, because I thought those were actually pretty good.
My name is Barry Allen, and I am the fastest man alive.
And at number 14, I have The Flash. This was a really fun CW show. The Flash was a little silly, but that kind of has its own charm to it. Every episode followed pretty much the same storyline. My name is Barry Allen, I'm the fastest man alive. Whoa, this guy's faster than me, what do I do? Someone else tells him, hey, try running faster, Barry, and it works. I do like the characters a lot, though, and Grant Gustin was a pretty darn good Flash. Like I said, it was a fun show more than anything else. And at number 13, an even sillier CW show, I have Smallville. Smallville was about Superman growing up in high school, and it was just super fun. Each episode there was a new villain who usually got their powers from kryptonite, and that kind of just made sense to me, especially when I watched it as a kid. I was like, okay, there's kryptonite around, and this strange space rock would definitely have interesting effects on humans. And I thought Tom Welling was a great Superman. I always enjoyed this show. It's unfortunate that one of the characters' actresses was in a cult and helped run a cult, but other than that, Smallville's pretty good. At number 12, I have The Punisher. The biggest reason this is as high as it is on this list is Jon Bernthal. The intensity and energy he brings to the role of the Punisher cannot be understated. I loved how real this show is and how well it fit into the world, and it worked so well with other characters like Daredevil and Jessica Jones. I don't know, I hope to see the Punisher in future Marvel stories, and I hope he is played by Jon. At number 11, I have WandaVision. This was a fun concept for a show. Having the two main characters progress through a decade per episode, and each episode mimicking a different sitcom from that time, was fantastic. This is one of the very few Marvel shows that really did a good job of progressing characters outside of the movies in the MCU. I really enjoy it, and I look forward to rewatching it. At number 10, I have Miss Marvel. I'll say it, I love Kamala Khan's character in Miss Marvel. The energy the actress and character bring is just exactly what the new generation of Avengers needed. You can tell she truly wants to be there, and to me as a viewer, that means a lot. Aside from all that, the side characters are also fantastic. I really love her family and their dynamic, and her friends are great too. I even didn't mind when the show got a little silly and she had her drawings and stuff. I don't know, it was just kind of endearing. I just really enjoy the show, and I'm excited to see what they do with the character in the future. At number 9, I have Hawkeye. This was another show that just had great energy. First of all, it being during Christmas helped it make it way more fun. And Hawkeye was great in the role as a mentor for Kate. And speaking of Kate Bishop, she was far and away my favorite part of this show. I think Haley Steinfeld did an amazing job and is a fantastic choice for this character and a great fit for the MCU. She, like Kamala Khan, just bring the energy that will be incredibly important in the coming years for Marvel. So I really liked Hawkeye. At number 8, I had Moon Knight. This show was batshit insane, and I loved it. I loved the Egyptian mythology, the action, and Oscar Isaac was fantastic playing different personalities. I loved the way they portrayed the afterlife and how the Egyptian gods looked. I just thought the show was so cool. I really cannot wait to see what they do with him in the future of the MCU and see how he fits in with the rest of them. If you haven't seen Moon Knight, absolutely go check it out.
Flash ain't no dude, and you don't stop.
At number 7, I have The Boys. This was another show that I just started watching this year, and I caught all the way up to what I can watch so far. I really like the world they built with the show and all the characters they put in it. I'd say it's probably the most realistic version of a world where there are superpowers. Not all of them would be good, not all evil, but there would absolutely be people making brand deals, making tons of money, and there would definitely be evil superheroes. I don't know, I'm just excited to see if they stick the landing in their last season. At number 6, I have Daredevil. Daredevil happens to be one of my favorite superheroes, and I think the show absolutely did him justice. The action, the characters, the story, it was all done so dang well. And Charlie was integrated into the MCU so well, and it was easy to see why. He was a fantastic Daredevil. Some of the action scenes in the show will go down as some of the best all time. Everything about the show is just so well done, and I can't wait to see what they do with this character as they have him in the MCU now and getting his own other show soon. It's just gonna be amazing. At number 5, I have Peacemaker. This is far and away the funniest show on the list. Peacemaker was a breath of fresh air when I first saw it. The cast is hilarious, the story made sense, and it has one of the best openings of any show I've ever seen. Look it up if you haven't seen it. John Cena is an absolutely phenomenal and hilarious actor. He really got to show off his skills throughout the show, and he took a character who was pretty much hated because of how he handled things in the movie, and humanized him and turned him into an amazing protagonist. I am so excited for Season 2 to come out and see what they do with the character. At number 4, I have Loki. Here we have the very best Marvel live-action show. Loki's phenomenal. What they did with this character in just 2 seasons was truly astounding. In just 2 seasons, they created an amazing story that ends Loki's story beautifully. I don't think it's possible that there will be another season because of how it ended, but that just kind of makes it even better because they can't mess it up. I just love what they did with the TVA, what they did with Loki. This is a fantastic show and the very best Marvel TV has to offer, for sure. At number 3, I have Heroes. Now for this show, probably 80% of you have never even heard of it. I loved Heroes, especially as a kid. It holds up, at least the first season. This show is from 2006, where people started developing powers. It could have just been another silly NBC show, but to me it was amazing. I know a lot of it has to do with nostalgia talking, but it does hold up. The only reason why it isn't higher on this list is the fact that after season 1, the writer's strike hit and it had a huge step down in quality. But characters like Peter Petrelli, Hiro Nakamura, and Claire Bennett make the show one of my favorites ever, bar none. At number 2, I have Watchmen. One of my favorite things I can see on a streaming service is when it says limited series. I love when a story can be told in 1 season and it is just done. They aren't baiting to get more things made. Watchmen did it better than almost anyone. It tells a phenomenal story quickly and straight to the point. It also shared history with the viewers of events like the Tulsa Massacre, which I don't know about you, but I didn't learn about in school, which is crazy because it was a huge deal. It was an awful event that is not talked about in American history. And you know what? How on earth can you like a show where Klansmen get their ass kicked and killed? What more can you ask? What can possibly be better? Love seeing racists get what they got coming. This show is truly phenomenal, and you should absolutely give it a watch. There's not many episodes, and like I said, limited series. It's great. And finally, at number 1, I have The Penguin. My expectations for this show were so low. I'm always nervous that DC will mess up everything they get their hands on. But man, was I wrong. The Penguin was so much better than it needed to be. When you go into thinking it's going to be a silly superhero show, but it turns out to be like an intricate crime show, that's amazing. Every character in the show is phenomenal. Obviously, Oz was amazing, and his relationship with Victor was just so interesting to me. And to me, the most interesting character, though, was Sophia Falcone. Kristen Milotti gave a perfect performance as a broken woman made into a monster. And one of the best episodes of television I've ever seen comes from this show as well. I cannot state this enough. Watch this show because there needs to be another season. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a like and maybe even subscribe if you really liked it. Comment below what I'm wrong about and maybe even tell me your top 5 because I'm so curious. Have a fantastic day and I'll see you in the next video.